Sarah Palin stole the show on SNL's 40th anniversary, doing a funny bit with Jerry Seinfeld this past week. The governor stood up in the audience and hinted about a possible Palin-Trump ticket in 2016. All in good fun, it seems, but liberals lit up the internet worried that a Sarah Palin-Donald Trump partnership could be a possibility. This past week, Governor Palin posted an article about a study that says Alaska is the top state when it comes to well-being. Palin wrote, "The last frontier is first in happiness." You can access that article right on the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and visit sarahpalinchannel.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
We are at a critical juncture in American history, with our nation drifting from our founding principles farther and farther every day. One path leads to an escalating power of an irresponsible federal government. The other, a full restoration of liberty and an American renaissance. I like the sound of that, don't you? The federal government has overreached its constitutionally established boundaries and has its hands in almost every aspect of our daily lives. America's founders would be outraged. I am outraged. Just talking to you, I'm outraged. Because these abuses aren't just bad policy, but in reality a soft tyranny that is guiding Americans by mandates, dictates, and executive fiat. Our abuses today by the federal government include a spending and debt crisis of epic proportions. $19 trillion in national debt is beyond staggering. That is $153,000 that each American citizen owes the federal government right now. A regulatory crisis that since 1949 has made America 72% poorer. Congressional attacks on our state sovereignty. Did you know that Congress uses federal grants to keep the states under their control? It's time for the states to say no more. Our founders believed the structures of a limited government would provide the greatest protection of liberty. Not only were there to be checks and balances between the branches of the federal government, but power was to be shared between the states and the federal government, with the federal government only being able to use its powers granted in the Constitution. As you can tell, we are way off track. Wow, you and I, we know that Washington will never voluntarily relinquish their power. But thankfully, the people only need to open the Constitution to see a solution that is greater than the problem. We have a clear and honorable pathway to limit the size, scope, and jurisdiction of the federal government and return power back to the states, exactly where our founders intended. We can work with our state legislators. We can restore those checks and balances and empower those legislators to be that last line of defense for liberty. It can only happen if you participate in the process that the Constitution explicitly says is your duty. That's Article 5. You are the key to solving our greatest challenges. It's time for you to stand up, speak up, and show up on behalf of America. When we are fighting for the right, we must never, ever stop until we win ultimate, complete victory. Because the battle isn't won by the strongest, smartest, or most elite. It comes down to those who persist and persevere because they believe in constitutional self-governance. I'm all in. Are you? If you want to learn more, go to conventionestates.com. I'm Tamara Colbert for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg grabbed some headlines. USA Today reported the following headline: Justice Ginsburg, not 100% sober at State of the Union. Apparently, she admitted that she couldn't resist the fine wine that Justice Kennedy brought to dinner prior to the State of the Union speech. Ginsburg and Anton Scalia participated in a forum this past Thursday. That's where she made the admission. I find it refreshing that Justice Ginsburg was honest about her inability to stay awake during the State of the Union. She's 79 years old and admitted that she had wine. Frankly, that's probably the only way to suffer through the carnival that has become the State of the Union. In fact, Justice Scalia doesn't attend anymore, calling it a childish spectacle. The two justices are polar opposites when it comes to interpreting the Constitution, but otherwise they are best buddies. They actually like each other. Their relationship captures the lost art of friendship and respect for each other's opinion. I may be the only person in the country who is sick of listening to the hyper-bickering that dominates the media in Washington today. The hateful sound bites, rhetoric, and blame game spewed from politicians is why people stop listening or stop caring. Watching Ginsburg and Scalia debate important constitutional principles is intellectually stimulating. If you have a chance, don't miss a chance to hear them. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook. And follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, at Sarah_Steelman, and at 3DSTS. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I'm also doing a weekly segment on Eddie Burke's radio program in Alaska. It's called Bear Facts and Grizzly Details with Kevin Scholla, and you can hear it now on Mondays at 9:30 a.m. Alaska time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Tune into Hot Talk KOAN. Visit 1080KOAN.com. That's 1080KOAN.com. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Todd Palin, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, 3D Security and Training Academy. Visit 3dsta.com. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update right here on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.